Got a question on TikTok asking about if a landlord and tenant have no payment history, but instead their arrangement was to trade labor, how does that work? Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the landlord at War on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, this is like super technical, okay? This type of issue. From time to time, it does come up. You do technically have a tenancy. For purposes of the civil code, this is what we would call hiring the property, okay? So hiring a property under the civil code definition, under civil code 1925, I believe, is basically like it's broader than rent. You don't necessarily, most landlord relationships are like you pay money to stay there, but there are some tenancies where you exchange services, because the definition of hiring, I don't have the civil code definition right in front of me, but it's basically like a reward or return for something. You get to possess property for some type of reward. It could be for services. It could be, you could be bartering for, you know, products, that type of deal. Like, I want 100 Captain Crunch boxes of cereal, and you get this per month to stay here in my home. You could have something hypothetically like that. Now, do I recommend this type of relationship? Absolutely not, because the problem is most of the landlord-tenant system is designed for, like, you pay money to stay in your home, and you could have weird problems, such as Tenants Protection Act. For example, if you, like in this scenario, I trade my labor for a place to live, okay? Most of the time that deal is not written down in writing anywhere, okay? But you could have a lawful tenancy and maybe subject to state Tenants Protection Act. How do you handle that? Well, it might come down to a case-by-case basis. You're going to have to, if you were subject to the TPA, you're going to have just cause to terminate that tenancy. And many cases, there are a couple of cases that have been gone up to the Court of Appeals where, hey, the landlords had to like withdraw the property out the residential market, or there's an owner moving, that type of deal. But then again, you got to follow all those regulations. You know, the state has clamped down on the Tenants Protection Act as the no fault just cause type deal. So you probably would need an experienced attorney to navigate, you know, something other than a landlord-tenant, you know, you paying money to stay in the home type of relationship, because that's kind of where it gets complex. You can have a relationship for trading services, that type of deal, and it may be tricky to terminate that tenancy on your own. So folks, if you're in the Northern California area and you got a weird tenancy situation like that, feel free to reach out. We might be able to help out. Put your comments, questions down below. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.